What's up guys, it's Simon back here with another video, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a little bit of a different video because in this video I'll be doing my rankings of the Triple H returns. Now this is not returns meaning how Bailey was when she was out on an injury and then came back, or somebody that was like Io Sky who was just out and then made her debut. Like, this is just returns of people that either were released or left the company, and that came back over the Triple H kind of era. There might possibly be more with the draft right around the corner. But I'm just here to do my predictions. There's 15 people, so the first 5, I'm just going to go over them really quick. And last place, we have the Good Brothers, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. I put the Good Brothers last because I literally forgot that they were even with the WWE. They haven't done any appearances on TV. They did have a match a couple weeks ago on Main Event, but that's really what they've done. I can't fault them too much because AJ Styles is, of course, out with an injury. Um, but they really just haven't done anything with them, and hopefully that could change soon with AJ Styles possibly coming back, but they're just last place right now. 14th place, we have Valhalla. She's done a couple things, but we haven't really gotten much of her character. With the Good Brothers, I don't think we have. She does explain with them about, she does explain what like the Viking Raiders do now and stuff like that, but we really haven't got much from her. She was at WrestleMania. She has been involved on SmackDown, but her solely, she hasn't done very much. Next up, we have Emma. Similar to what I said about Valhalla, Emma, she's kind of just been the sidekick to Madcap Moss, and she really hasn't done anything for in the women's division. She had the open challenge for the SmackDown Women's Championship, but she's lost every single match that she's had, and she just really has not done much with the character and stuff. I would love to see her possibly get drafted to team up with Dana Brooke again, or just go back to the heel Emma that we saw before. At number 12, we have Tegan Nox. Same thing. Tegan came back. She got that Women's Tag Team Championship, but ever since that, she just hasn't done anything. She had that little side feud with Xia Li, but then that was dropped instantly. They had one match and that was it. So hopefully maybe in the draft she could get drafted possibly to Raw, or the SmackDown women's roster could not get as much crowded as it is right now, and she could start breaking out. Because she is a great wrestler, I'll go for that, but character-wise, they just haven't given her anything to work with. Number 11, we have Dexter Lumis. Now, Dexter, I really don't understand why they didn't just put him and Indy back together. Him and Indy just had a great thing going with each other, and they had a great thing going with each other, and he did have that little stint on NXT when he came back to help Indy after she lost, and he gave her that note and everything. But then he just went right back to the main roster and just has not had anything besides being the sidekick of Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae. He had that great thing with character, I feel like. And I feel like a lot of these people are missing a lot of characters, and the characters that they had on NXT sadly aren't working with the new kind of fans that they brought in ever since Triple H has been brought into creative role. That I feel like a lot of these characters aren't working, and that's why a lot of these people are just kind of losing steam, or kind of losing the attention that we thought they were going to get when they came back. So yeah, Dexter Lumis at number 11. Now we reach our top 10. We have Hit Row, B-Fab, Top Dollar, and Ashanti the Adonis. Now these three, I do kind of like them. A lot of people don't like them. I liked what they did when it was with Swerve and all that. I feel like they had a good thing going. But then once they got to the main roster after like 3 months of being an actual faction, B-Fab got released, and then the rest of Hit Row got released, but then when they came back, they were just missing a leader. And I feel like they're the big three, but none of them can be the leader of the group. B-Fab, she hasn't done really anything in the women's division except have that match, or so you would call it, in the Rumble. She was in there for like 10 seconds. And then Hit Row, they did have a SmackDown Tag Team Undisputed Tag Team Championship match, but then they just haven't done anything since. They have kept them on TV for a little while, but nothing really too major. But I would love to see them get another opportunity at the tag team titles, or just do something. Next up, we have at number 9, we have Mia Yim / Meechin, whatever you want to call her. These I feel like she could be put with the Good Brothers, but they have kind of separated them. She came in very hot. She came in with the Judgment Day, which were very big storyline. Going into Survivor Series, she was incredible in the Survivor Series match. She was incredible in the Women's War Games match, but ever since that, she's just been lacking. And it's not her fault. She has been doing live events, so that's why she's kind of higher up on this list. She has been doing live events. She has had a couple matches here and there with teaming up with Candice LeRae or in that women's triple threat. So she has been getting a lot of steam picking up, but I just want her to not switch her character, but amp her character up to how it was on NXT, because she was great on NXT. The fans loved her and stuff like that. So I just would want to see her get another pick in this draft, get more attention put onto her. Next up, it goes hand in hand. Candice LeRae at number 8. Similar to Candice, she came in as a shock, similar to what Johnny Gargano came into. But she really didn't do anything. She got out with an injury, but she's been kind of keeping herself relevant, not only with Johnny and his storyline that he went on NXT and stuff like that, but she's been keeping herself thing with teaming up with Mia Yim, or that story that she had with Nikki Cross that keeps stopping and starting, stopping and starting. But I would love to see her get go heel once again, and possibly team up with Indy Hartwell if Indy gets drafted in the draft or whatever. But I just want to see her go heel, because I feel like that's what her character really excels in, is heel work, rather than being this baby face that just has wings and stuff. And what is it, a pixie fairy or whatever she calls herself? I like the Poison Pixie a lot better. Next up at number 7, and this might shock a bunch of you guys, but number 7, I put Bray Wyatt. Listen, Bray Wyatt, he had a great return, but this is about what they've done since the return. And he had that awkward storyline with LA Knight. To be honest, I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I really didn't care for it. And they had that match, and then he was randomly going to be put in a storyline with Bobby Lashley, and yeah, it was just Bobby Lashley. I was going to say Brock Lesnar, but Brock went out to Omos. But he had that storyline where he was going to face the winner at WrestleMania, but then unfortunately got an injury or whatever. And then he hasn't been done anything since. No vignettes, no barcodes, no QR codes, I mean, nothing. He's just been waiting for his return, and I honestly feel like that was not a big waste of time, but it was like a huge letdown from how he came in and his return to how it is now. And hopefully maybe he's a part of the draft, maybe not, but I just think they could do so much more, and they have so much more to do, but they just dropped the ball on him a little bit. Next up, we have Karrion Kross and Scarlett. Karrion and Scarlett, they came in right after, not right I don't think it was right after, maybe it was, yeah, it was like right after SummerSlam, or it was before Clash at the Castle. But it was a surprising return. He was one of the earlier returns, and he's been doing good. He has storyline with Madcap, storyline with Ray, storyline with Drew, and now he's going on to Shinsuke. So he's been keeping himself relevant. Scarlett stepping in the ring for the very first time. So they've been keeping themselves in storylines, but they just haven't gotten back to the Karrion Kross from NXT, which we all loved. But, maybe he just needs to pick up more steam, and maybe it's just not his time yet to kind of get back to where he was on NXT. Next up at number 5, we have Johnny Gargano. And now Johnny, he really has just been a mix. He's been doing stuff on Raw, but he's honestly done more stuff on NXT. He had that little thing with Grayson Waller heading into NXT, Stand and Deliver. Then he had that amazing Elimination Chamber match. That was a great Elimination Chamber match. But he really hasn't done anything but those two. And I know you're probably going to say, then why is he top 5? He's top 5 because of the incredible matches that he's put on since he's been back. And I just feel like they have a lot more for him, that they're just waiting for the draft to kind of put him maybe on SmackDown. Or I feel like they just have a lot more in store for him. And including a lot more in store for this person. Number 4, we have Bronson Reed. Now, Bronson Reed, at first, I was a little skeptical. I was like, he's one of the people that it would have been nice to see him return, but I feel like they wasted a return on him. But he's been really impressing me. He's been used very well. He has been booked strong. I believe he's still undefeated besides the Battle Royal. But he's been booked very, very well. He is in the top storyline. He has a championship match coming up at Backlash for the United States Championship. He was Final 2 in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. He had an incredible performance in the Elimination Chamber. And he's just been doing very well for himself. And I feel like he's maybe done way better than he did on NXT, because I was not really a fan of him on NXT. Next up, we have at number 3, Chelsea Green. And she is I think she's the newest one on the list, and she is already at number 3. She has done amazing work with her character work. She has brought this character to, I feel like nobody else could do it besides Chelsea Green and possibly Sonya Deville, but I feel like Chelsea just adds a little twist to it that Sonya couldn't really bring to it. And she's gotten a championship match. She had that great team with Carmella that unfortunately got dropped, but then she just went right back into with Sonya Deville. She had a WrestleMania moment. She was the talk of the Women's Royal Rumble, I feel like, besides Rhea Ripley and all that, but she was one of the returns that people were talking about, and she's just done great things for herself, and I'm glad that she's gotten this after those 2 failed runs before. Next up at number 2, we have Braun Strowman. Now, Braun, he was another one I was a little skeptical on, but he has just been booked very well. Him and Ricochet just have great chemistry together as a team. Honestly, I just have a feeling they might get broken up in the draft because they're not a legitimate team. Like, I don't know. I still feel like they're just like a makeshift team that's just there just because they have nothing for them. So they're just like, quick, let's put them in a team. But I do think that he is probably the best booked male out of the returns, and I feel like that's going to keep going. I don't know why they're keeping him out of the main title picture, why he hasn't gone after Roman ever since losing the title to him and stuff like that. And why I don't know why he has not been put in anything but the tag team division. And the Intercontinental title he did a little bit, but mostly the tag division he's been doing. And at number 1, we have Dakota Kai. She was the first return that we've seen, and she has just been killing it. She came back, one of the biggest returns, and one of the biggest moments of SummerSlam was part of Damage Control. They beat the undefeated, at the time, Raw Women's Champion, who hasn't been pinned, was like over a year. And then she won the Women's Tag Team titles twice, had a great thing going, was they were just the most dominant team, had a great Royal Rumble performance, was just putting great match after great match. Then she had that big thing with Trish, Lita, and Becky going into WrestleMania, had the 6 women's tag, and she has just been killing the game, and I hope that things go for her and she doesn't get lost when the eventual Damage Control split is going to happen, because I feel like she could be one of the stars coming out of that group. But that was just my rankings for the Triple H returns, leave your rankings down in the comment section below. I would love to read them and reply to them. And if you want to, give me a reason why you put those people in that order. But yes, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, champs.